I remember being told that I'd had a stroke, and but they termed it a massive stroke, and I believe all the right-hand side of my head was affected. To me, stroke happened to old people, not knowing I was one of them. I can remember friends of my grandmother's having stroke and unfortunately dying within weeks of having a stroke. So I thought, my God, am I on the way out? Immediately after having a stroke, the physical effects were the inability to walk. I wasn't allowed to walk from my bed to go to the toilet. I had to be walked by a delightful nurse. That's a bit embarrassing. The rehab people were good. They'd give you a target, and I like having targets, and I like beating targets. So that helped me with my rehab. I think just doing a little bit more and being pushed. When I got home, I was terribly cranky, and but I was very depressed, and I think that manifested itself by total lack of interest in everything, and a feeling of incredible sadness, and a feeling of non-compassion. I used to read stories in the paper, and they'd really get to you, and you feel, oh, gee, that was sad, And then I'd read other stories, and since subsequent to stroke, and they wouldn't affect me. And I could remember thinking to myself, that should really affect me. I had no idea what to expect after I got out of rehab hospital. I knew I couldn't hold things in my left hand because I would just drop it. And I knew I couldn't see people that were standing on my left, but I got home and my wife would work on that. She would make sure she would come and stand beside me on my left side and make sure I'd notice her. And she used to do little tricks like that, little things to help me with my rehab when I got home. And I credit her to this day, to the way I am now. I've seen other stroke survivors who haven't progressed anywhere near as well as I have. When you go to the doctor and mention something strange happening to you after a stroke, they'd say, oh, well, that's just a byproduct of the stroke, They'd shrug it off, and I got used to people saying that's a byproduct of the stroke. I didn't have any indication that my emotions would be affected. I wasn't informed in any way that my emotions would be affected that I can recall. I think it would have helped me earlier when I got out of rehab if I was informed that I was likely to have depression. It would have helped me a lot. I thought it was just sadness and part of the stroke. I felt better immediately after the medication. I certainly felt better within myself. To me, depression was just a thing that you just feel a bit down and that's it, but I didn't realise it was so deep. But you find yourself curled up on the bed in a ball, and total lack of motivation and total sadness inside. That's what made me think perhaps I should see. And luckily, I've got a clever wife that directs me where to go. The best thing that happened to me post-stroke was going to the Stroke Foundation's stroke awareness groups. And by going there, it makes you aware that you're not the only person that feels as you do, That helped my depression, if you want to call it. My sadness, or my feeling of total loss. And stroke affects not just the person that it attacks, but it certainly depresses the family. I think perhaps at the time they should have had some emotional support or a bit of backup. Even now, I still feel there are days when I still feel a bit sad about what's happened, a bit down, not totally down, but a bit sad about life. And I feel as though I couldn't get happy, I get frustrated now at not being able to do what I I used to do, that the frustration is still there with stroke. Not to the extent that it gets you really depressed, but the frustration is an everyday thing. Anger is still there, not being able to do things. I would suggest to people not to just sit down and feel sorry for themselves, as I used to. I read a lot now, I walk a lot, and I believe walking is the answer to a lot of problems. The best antidepressant for me is to have grandkids crawling all over you. That's the greatest antidepressant in the world.